Previously on ARIES LAX, used APRS for situational awareness. Is that going away? Definitely not. The reason why we do this, and I want to show you, Tron, can you see the image?
Yes, we can see the image. Thank you.
Thank you. I wanted to show you what it looks like to people who are participating in this on a simplex frequency, which is not the main APRS frequency. We did all of this on a tactical frequency on our own system. But you see almost immediately how easy it is for anybody at a hospital or at the MAC to say, hey, listen, W1 SAV is hospital level 5. You can even assign tactical call signs to them so you know what the hospital is like, what hospital they're at. K6YZF is at 4 right now. What's going on there? They can see where the EOC or the MAC is located, and that makes it very, very easy to get a quick one-glance view of what's the status of my system. So if I don't have the MCOM map available, ReadyNet is down. This is a great way of seeing what the hospital status is. So APRS for tactical for ARIES LAX provides the hospital service level for net control and the neighboring hospitals. That's its purpose. It's a tactical way of doing this. WinLink can also provide position reports and short messages for out-of-area contacts mostly, because you do check this stuff on either the winlink.org website, and I'll show you where, or on aprs.fi. That's really the strength of this. So you can have family, let's say, across the country, they can check that you're okay. You can let them know, and that's what we're going to use WinLink for in a moment. Very simple WinLink position reporting, and this is something I've learned from Jeff, W2JCL. We'll start with a slide, and I'll show you how to do that in action. But we'll start with the slide. So there are two ways to access the position reporting. You can go to settings. Here, let me just turn on the pointer again. You can go click on settings and then GPS position reports, or you can have that little cross, what do you call that when you're having guns and so on?
Crosshairs?
Crosshairs, thank you. Crosshairs, you can have that little crosshairs, and both will get you to the same spot. That's your position report up there. And if you've never done this before, the upper image here is exactly what it's going to look like. It's going to give you a latitude of 0 and a longitude of 0. But see, it's actually defaulting to east. Keep that in mind when you change this. Also gives you 148 characters maximum. So if you're good on Twitter, you will love this. By the way, we tried this out. 148 characters maximum kind of turns out into 2 radiograms. So if you're a big fan of radiograms, you can add 2 of them in the comments field there. And then you fill it in. The report date and time, you can just click on the use current time. Here, let me turn on the pointer again and do this slowly. You can do use current time, and it'll take your computer time, but it'll be in UTC. And then you fill in the information for your latitude and your longitude. If you are in California, remember, we're west, so you need to change that. If you don't, then you wind up in somewhere near Shenzhen in China. Just keep that in mind. That has happened to very experienced hams. We're like, oh, this doesn't work. It does, but you're not in China. So it was kind of a lot of fun. What I like to do, and we talked about that on the net the other day, I usually find my location and I just paste it in there. And then I just copy what I need to copy over and make the adjustments. For instance, the degree sign needs to be changed to a dash on both of these. And then you can do the decimal. And Mike, I'll just throw this out there. I would love for this to be degree decimal altogether. I know the WinLink development team has a lot on its plate, but you know that would be fun, or at least have an option where we can change this, because that would make it faster, especially for those of us using our cell phones to get that information. It's very easy to do. And that's it. I usually delete the comment in there, and you can fill in something else once your latitude and longitude is set. And then you click on post report, and it addresses it automatically to QTH and puts it in your outbox. At that point, just like any other message, you have to connect to a gateway in order to post this. And Mike had his hand raised. Go ahead, Mike.
Obviously, if you have a GPS dongle, that becomes mute because it'll do it for you, and you would just hit copy GPS data. But I will again mention it to the author, Phil. He's not been real warm to this. I don't know why, but I'll again mention it to him.
Thank you so much, Mike. And of course, we've had that conversation about GPS dongles not too long ago. And by the way, Mike, KM6KQ reported that he upgraded his dongle from uBlocks 3 that he had before, that he had a lot of trouble with, to a uBlock 7 for $14. And it's been working fantastically for him without adding any drivers or anything. So if you have an older style, maybe spend the $14 to do that. But right now, this is the manual way of doing this.
But something to keep in mind, Oliver, I think knowing the manual way is also, for those of us who often operate in compromised positions, even with a GPS dongle, maybe you're operating somewhere that your GPS location isn't as good as it could be.
Thank you, Joan. Excuse me. And that's a good point. So let me point out, for exercises, how do you find your location in degrees decimal and degrees decimal minutes? I like to use Caltopo, makes it really easy. You can find any place, go to caltopo.com, it's free, and you can right click on any of the locations on there and then go to point info, then click on position and elevation, and it gives you the degrees, decimals, minutes right here. And I highlighted that. That's a little trick I learned from Mike Burton. Highlight these things, that makes it much easier. And you can just, that's the information I copied, and then I pasted it, and I'll go back one slide. It's the same information right down here. All right, I'll turn the pointer off, that slows down the computer. And that's how you can find that information. Just understand that it'll give it to you as minus 118. You can't put the minus in there. It has to, you have to follow it with a W. So negative means west, positive means east. All right. Where does WinLink information go? So you've got the message, the position report created. You're posting it to the outbox, and you're connecting to a gateway, either an RMS packet gateway or on HF. Works brilliantly on HF. It's a small file, and it sends it to a CMS. And where does it go from there? Well, you can actually see it on a map at winlink.org, user positions. And this is an example of our exercise last Thursday. All these positions here were reported live through WinLink on the map. In fact, Lynn is on here too, but it didn't quite fit the map. So sorry, Lynn, I had to cut you off there. But that's really, really helpful, especially if you train or if you tell your family, this is a way for you to find me. And I can leave you little messages in there telling you I'm safe and well, or, get me out of here, this APRS thing isn't working, right? Whatever the message is, you can actually put that in there. So just keep that in mind. It's a very powerful tool. The other thing that WinLink does is it sends the information to APRS as an iGate. Let's not get into details what iGates do, but essentially it sends it to the internet, and anybody who can look at APRS.fi, there are other websites that do this, can actually locate you just as much with all the information they would see at the user positions. So these are the same positions you just saw here in blue, same date, on the APRS.fi. It's the same people. It didn't do anything different. It just populated that information. And the P tells you that this is kind of a personal thing going from WinLink. And this is Jeff, W2JCL. This is where he put his location marker. Savvy, W1SAV. That's where he put it. Keith, KD6PYD, and Tom, KN6BKT. Those are the WinLink reported user positions on APRS.fi. And you can tell that to pretty much everybody in your family or your close friends and say, hey, listen, if there's ever a big earthquake, I have WinLink access. Start looking for me there. Any questions about this so far? Mike?
Mike has a comment.
I'm sorry, Oliver, to keep breaking in like this.
That's okay.
No, I have a penchant for accuracy and also details that probably don't mean much. If you have no internet whatsoever and people are reporting their positions, you can retrieve it by radio through WinLink through the catalog. May I show you?
Yeah, you're more than welcome to do that. In fact,
you'll have to unshare for just a moment.
Yeah, we actually did that as an exercise, Mike, just so you know.
You're a good man. God bless you.
Here, let me stop my share. There you go.
As you know, when you post your position with WinLink, it's using your base call sign. So if you have tactical call signs, you're not going to see it. What San Diego does robs people, and it's very well used. In the comments, that's where you put your tactical. As an example, if I was to post my APRS position right now through WinLink, it would come up as in 6KZB. That's how you'd have to find it. Or if my call sign is an SSID in 6KZB-3, the base call sign. But if I am using a tactical such as PREBC, when I post it, it's still going to be my base call sign. So I put in the comments my tactical. And this is what you will get. You can go to the catalog. You can go to users, closest 30K mobile, 30 WinLink mobiles to you. And if they posted it, I'm going to retrieve it real quick. And you'll get a printout that's pretty trick to be used for emergency management tools. So you can have a printout of everyone's where they are, how far they are from you. So if you were an EOC, this would be extremely valuable. Let me just retrieve it real quick. I will post it. No idea what that is. Junk. So you wait a few moments and you'll get it back. First, here's your entire list of all the users that are, obviously that's mine. This is everybody that's posted anything through WinLink positioning system, up to 30 users closest to you.
Mike, if I may, I didn't catch the very beginning of that. Could you show us how you would get to the catalog? Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Get to the catalog, please. Yep.
Right here in settings, WinLink catalog request, make sure you've updated it. Every time you have your computer on internet, I recommend you get to have just updating. You want to go find WinLink 2K users. You can find mobile users posting reports in the last 30 days, closest 30. You can also get operational status and other stuff like that, but this is the one you want. You double click it, it'll come over here to your selection. You can do more than one. Post it, that will go into your outbox. And then you just simply, hold on, I got a delivery truck, I gotta shut the door. That's the propane tank delivery man. He plays music so you can run out and stop him. Now I will go retrieve this. And there's your message coming in. It's in the inbox, and there you are. And if
and how is it ordered? You said the first one is yourself.
Yes, close. Remember, it's based on the closest to you.
Okay.
Closest to you. All dates and distance in nautical miles and bearings on the true Great Circle. So right now, XC2 Bravo Yankee, he's just indicating he's at home. He likes to test once in a while. And here's Flynn Springs QTH. He's using his iPhone. Here's somebody from Mira Mesa, WinLink Drill. Okay, this is an example of the San Diego folks. K6AQ right here. They have a habit of doing this. They always indicate their tactical they're using. And he likes to indicate he's doing manual coordinates. So there you go, Oliver. He's doing coordinates manually. Here's Scripps Green Hospital, another tactical. K6RJF, entered manually. So it's a very useful tool, especially if you print it out. Now you can have, but let me tell you what it works really good for. Some of the guys in Texas during a recent tornado incident, they went around, drove around to the location because they had their GPS dongles, posted their position, indicated in the comments where they were and what they were viewing. They took a picture with their phone, put it into WinLink, shrunk it down for delivery. So what the management people had was an exact location, a frontal view of the damage, and they could react to it. Okay, back to you. I have to stop sharing.
Well, thank you so much, Mike. And, you know, as we're trying to point out here, it is an extremely powerful tool. And having this idea of, you know, where people are located provides a superior situational awareness to everybody, including the operators at the various hospitals. So thank you so much for sharing this, Mike. And as we're building on top of that, we will definitely start integrating this even more. Bear with me for a moment here as I'm loading up all the resources because I'm doing this off a tablet. So I'm asking a lot of this little computer. I'm running 2 screens and I'm running Zoom at the same time. So I need to make sure that all my sound cards are set correctly for the next part of this demo and load everything. So bear with me.
We're going to ask you to share your screen too, Oliver, so we can see it.
Will do. Just give me a second. Okay. And then one more. I'm waiting for everything to load before I share the screen.
Greetings, I made it.
Hey, Mike, how's the car doing?
Ah,
Well, bit of a setback. The parts are here, so I'm here.
Mike, you're on the road. Is that correct?
Not yet.
Ah, not yet. Okay.
Actually, you know what? I'm just thinking, this is kind of silly what I'm doing here. Because what we want to see is the user view, not the gateway view of things. Right?
The user view of
what we're doing with the position reporting.
Okay.
And for those of you who are interested, you can go to winlink.org, winlink.org/user positions. I have to make sure I'm running the right version of sound modem here because I've got 6 different versions of sound modem. There you go. All right. So let's start with, for those of you who are on frequency right now, we're using APRS 501. Let's start with doing pinpoint APRS, and you post a hospital service level on this frequency. Let's make sure that the frequency is clear and do proper behavior. Is this frequency in use? This is K6OLI. Is this frequency in use? This is K6OLI. A short net will be held on this frequency. The cooperation of all radio amateurs is much appreciated. This is Oliver, K6OLI. All right. And now going back to sharing, because sharing is caring. And let's see, if you want to share screen. Oh, cool, it does multiple screens. I like it. All right. You should all be able to see my main screen right now. Is that correct?
yes. So we see your sound modem and your pinpoint APRS open.
Okay, excellent.
And your VAR FM.
Make sure all this stuff is turned off. So which VAR is this now?
So as Oliver mentioned, he actually uses a little tablet PC, which is about 11 inches. And he's able to do all of this. And it's his portable MCOM laptop.
So I usually start VARA manually. That's why you're seeing this up. If you have it checked to do it automatically, it's not a problem. First thing you always want to do is go to Settings and Sound Card. By the way, you can see it right now as I'm speaking. VARA, the view meter is actually moving. That's a good indication that your sound card is wrong. So right now it's set to the Logitech USB headset. We want to change that over to the USB audio codec, which is my signal link. Close that, and you see much better view meter, and I can speak all I want, not a problem. You can see where the issue is right now. I'm running the CPU at 100%. Woo! I know Tom's getting a heart attack right now. Right, Tom? No? It's like he's saying, your computer.
It's your computer, babe. Go for it.
All right. Let's start with Pinpoint APRS, the tactical part of this, just as a refresher. And for those of you who are on frequency, don't send it yet. I just want to go through the options here. Sound modem is already running, so I know I need to connect to this. We'll go to the TNC. And in this case, we want to check the network KISS mode. We want to make sure that the port here is this. I said, don't transmit yet. Who was that? All right. Make sure the port here is the same as in your sound modem. Click OK. And in this case, right now, if I, let's
Oliver, if you could slow down your movements a little bit, it's taking a little bit of time to transmit so that we can see. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All right. In this case, whatever I put in here doesn't matter unless there's another digipeater on there. Tom, is it okay if I use you for this?
Yeah, KN6BKT-4, right?
Yes, thank you. All right, let's say I am at Huntington. Well, let's call it Arlington. And I want to let them know that our service level is 3. So I can either enter it here /3 and hit enter, and that changes the 3 up here. And I can use those arrows to go up and see how it changes to 5 down here or down.
Oliver, service level 3 is only kind of an internal use right now. It's actually service level orange, correct?
Right, that's correct. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, it will be service level orange, but this is how you get to it. You type in the 3. So good point, Tron. Thank you. What's important for the other side is to see that it is orange, and so it's a good point to make. Next thing, right now, we can see down here on the left, our TNC is disconnected. So I go to Tools, and I connect the TNC. And my next step is I beacon once, and you will see the 3, hopefully. So we go down to Tools, Send Position Beacon. And I just beacon. Tom, are you on 144420?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Tom, would you go ahead and beacon your position, please? And there he is. He's level 2, right?
Level red.
Level red, yes. Thanks for me. I've been talking for 2 hours. I appreciate you, Tron. KN6BKT-4. Mike, are you up and running?
Yeah, I believe so. I can beacon if you like.
Yeah, go ahead and beacon, please. And there you go. You've got Mike with hospital service level green. See, Tron, I actually, thanks so much. And I saw Doug raised his hand, so let me send one more position beacon and then we'll get to Doug. Go ahead, Doug.
I noticed on your menu, when you've got menu there, you are currently on unmute. I was playing with this the other night when I wasn't on unmute, and every time a new position report would come in, the the program was giving me like some cutesy tone, and that was keying up my transmitter.
Right.
I couldn't, is that so you pretty much have to be on unmute there, right?
I would strongly,
no,
the unmute just tells you that you're muted. I would strongly recommend that all of you use the mute button. So out of the box, it looks like this, right? Mute. But every time somebody beacons, you know, you've got the, you'll get a tone. Robert,
and I was finding that tone was keying up my sound card.
Okay, well, yeah, I would strongly recommend to mute this. Robert, are you set up to beacon right now, K6YZF?
Yes, I am.
Would you go ahead and beacon, please, so we can just show people what it sounds like? Were you guys able to hear that? Ding. No?
Yes.
Yes,
Very,
okay.
very.
Yeah, it's that ding that you then would hear. And so what I highly recommend is doing mute, and thank you, Robert, for beaconing. And you can see hospital service level yellow there. So this is how we create that map. Is there anybody else who'd like to beacon right now on Pinpoint APRS before we move on to the WinLink part?
I could give it a shot, Oliver.
Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
Meanwhile, Scott, KI6SC has a question. Go ahead with your question, Scott.
Oh, I wanted to ping too. Sorry, I was raising my hand to ping.
Okay,
That's
go ahead
okay.
to ping. Excellent. So you see Rob over in Glendora, K6YGF popped up. We've got KS6SC, and we've got Keith, KD6PYD, and you see how quickly that actually populates this site. And we're using APRS that a lot of us can use with just the setup we use for WinLink. There's Jeff, W2JCL. Within 5 minutes, we could have a map populated with all the hospitals in the area. Any questions about this so far? Okay, so this is the tactical use on our simplex frequency, Aries 501. We can choose any other frequency. We wouldn't want to do this on the national frequency because every weather station would be on there. This works for this. All right.
Hey, Oliver?
Yes.
Do you want to show your sound modem window to kind of see what's going on the background on that?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for reminding me. You meant this one, right? Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. And this is a great way of actually seeing what's going on, right? So everything, every packet people sent, this is Mike who sent his packet. This is me sending out my packet. All that information is actually collated here. You can actually see the traffic going on live. So Tom, would you mind resending your beacon just so people can see what it looks like on sound modem? Thank you so much. And immediately we get information. We can see that he's sending via Y2-2, and his comment is Naomi Hospital, and it gives us a location. Lots of good information just in the raw data. Dan, you had your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I may be misunderstanding this, but okay, so you've got your pinpoint map with all the stations that have reported. Is there a way to click on that to find out when their report was made?
There you go. Does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you.
4 minutes ago, and that's a great question. So thank you so much, Dan. And he's 4.87 miles away from me. That gives me good information. I can go over to Rob, say 2 minutes ago. So if they haven't actually reported in for an hour, might be a good idea to reach out to them. So Dan, you can see Dan has a lot of experience in this. So Excellent. Thank you so much. Especially if you have something that has code red here, you probably want to get a more frequent update from that facility. Rob had his hand raised. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, just real quick, Oliver. You might want to show too how you can edit the text tag. So you could put a tactical call sign, for instance, a hospital tactical call on the text tag.
Sure. We can go to tools, options. And in this case, I chose Arlington, so I can do Arlington again, make sure it's spelled right, and I can update. And let's try KM6KAQ-4. Say our situation has improved. One of the things, and we went through that when we did the APRS workshop, set this to 600 minutes because we do manual beaconing. If you're traveling, you can set it to a more regular beacon. What Mike N6KZB just pointed out. If you're doing this as a mobile asset, beacon more often, especially with a GPS dongle. But let's say we did this. So click OK. Tools, send position beacon. And there you go. That actually, you can see that because my position was actually rebeaconed by KM6KQ-4, and you can see that on here because he's got a star after that. Before, when I was going through KN6BKT-4, it didn't rebeacon because there's no star on this. And this is how you can tell the difference, all right? All right, let's leave that for now. We're just minimizing pinpoint APRS. Not any of it is going away. We'll just leave this for now. And we'll go to our, I should probably have cleaned up the inbox. Oh, well. We'll go to our WinLink Express. Can you all see that, Tron?
Yes.
All right. Again, let me start from the beginning on how I do that with CalTopo and walk people through. Any objections to that?
No objections.
Raise your hand now. No? Okay.
You're going to CalTopo in order to locate your own coordinates.
Right, just for the exercise. Again, it's the internet. It probably won't be around. So having a good way of actually getting that information without the internet would be great. Mike, just gonna do shout outs like this. Go ahead, Mike. He's right on top of me.
Mike Burton. Go ahead, Mike.
Sorry. If you have a smartphone, you don't need internet. You can get there's many applications, both for the Android, my popular favorite, and the iPhone that will give you your GPS exact location within 5 to 7 meters, and it will do it in a format to put direct entry into Express GPS positioning.
And I have those apps as well. But for instance, if I go to what most people have natively, like my my wonderful iPhone app, it does give me it does give me a location, but it always, let's see what can see this. It always gives it to me in degree decimals, not degree minutes.
I'm not talking about the native app. Download GPS app. Just go do searching. There are a lot of them that will do exactly what you want. I have one on my phone I use all the time. Android users have more flexibility than you. I'm sorry.
I know, but I'm always thinking about it in terms of how can net control tell people how to find the information quickly. So thank you so much, Mike, for the suggestion. And absolutely, there are apps out there that can give you that information. I will look into what works for a lot of people. This is Huntington.
Thank you, Mike, for butting in again. I understand.
No, it's great. I think this is part of what makes this fun. So this is Huntington Hospital. Let's right mouse click on this, just like I showed you earlier. Go to point info, position, and elevation. And for WinLink, we need degree, decimal, minutes. We need this. John, is this a good pace?
Yes, that's a good pace.
And in this case, I can just click on this with left click once. Unfortunately, you can't do right mouse click and copy. You have to do Control C. And now I copied this. I go back to WinLink. And remember, there are two ways of accessing this. You can do a position report, or you can go to settings, position reports. Let's click on this. And right now, I want to update that information. What I do is, and again, I do this for convenience, I click Control V, I paste the information in here, and I check. 34, I already had that in there before, but I could just copy this entire thing, Control Copy, and just pop it in here, Control Paste. And remember, the degree sign doesn't work, so I need to remove that, delete, put the dash in there. We can do the same thing on the other side. But because we already have the 118, we can do copy and just replace the last 5 digits, Control V, right? That's it. And then I could write a little message here. I don't need that information anymore. I already updated it. Make sure that it's west, not east. And I can say, hi, K6NHI. I am still safe. We'll see how things are after the presentation. And remember, if you want to come after me with a stick, it has to be at least 6 feet long, because you want to whack me over the head from a safe distance. All right. All right. So I can keep writing in there. Heck, if I have a radiogram in there, I could probably pop that in there. And next thing I do is post report. That's it. Now we go to the outbox. See how it posted it to QTH? And here's the entire report. It's a very small file, 270 bytes. So it's not a big file to post. For convenience sake, I'm going to do this via Telnet, but I can certainly log into. I could switch over to Robert's gateway frequency and send it via Robert's gateway. Or how about this? Why don't we do an interactive? If you would like me to do this via Telnet, click yes now. And Tron, let me know what the results are.
Will do. We have 9 yeses, 11.
Okay. If you would like
1
me,
no.
okay, so 11 yeses.
14 yeses.
14 yeses. If you want me to do this via Vara FM to Robert's gateway, Tron, would you clear, please?
Mm-hmm.
If you want me to do this via Vara FM through Robert's gateway, click yes now.
$11 yeses so far.
Okay. So we're doing this through Telnet, huh?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we've got 43 participants, so this Vara can still beat out.
I looked for Telnet, but I couldn't find my button.
Okay, so Telnet it is, everybody.
Telnet it is. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So we go to Telnet, open the session, because that's internet. Click start, sends the information. I'll just download it really quickly. All right. Our outbox is empty right now. It showed this. So let's go to WinLink. And you can do that on your computers too, right? .org/user positions. And in a separate tab, we can go to APRS.fi. And for those of you who are also on frequency, you're welcome to post your position right now. I know Keith did earlier this morning. And we'll just show you the map and what it looks like and how to find the information there. And I'm only 10 minutes over. I'm really proud right now. And again, sorry, this is just taking a moment here.
So this is a good time to remind everybody that, you know, make sure your friends and family know your call sign.
And know those 2 websites.
Yes.
Good point, Ron. Unless you're part of that that group that doesn't believe in that. So Like the old joke, Grandpa, why do you never use a blinker? Because then they know what I've got planned. Mike, you had a comment? Mike Burton, I should say, because we got two mics.
Okay, I'm backing up to the microphone this time because I'm very reluctant to keep jumping in. And somebody sent me an offline email and reminded me of something I started to research a few weeks ago and I just lost track of it. There are now applications for your Android and for your Apple phone. They're called Share GPS, and they will share your GPS position from your phone via Bluetooth to your laptop.
Yeah, I think my Cam6KQ has been doing that with his phone, and he's interfaced his laptop for quite a while that way. And I think there was.
You don't have to buy a dongle.
Let's ask Mike. Mike Cam6KQ. Didn't you have a driver issue that you ran into? Mike Cam6KQ.
Yeah, affirmative. I run into lots of problems with Windows 10 and trying to get external GPS devices. It seems that there's a special class now for location devices, and they don't want to be COM anymore. So whoever's producing the dongle or device has to write around that to put it into a COM port. I think they're starting to get the hang of it because I got a dongle now that's GLONASS U-Block 7, and it seems to work, though it takes forever when it's inside the house to get a lock.
I'm talking about your phone as your GPS receiver. There are applications that let phones send by Bluetooth.
Affirmative. I've got my phone, I've got my Bluetooth, and convincing Windows 10 of that was somewhat akin to making a donkey go when he doesn't wanna.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go play with that some more and I'll report back, Oliver, if we can make it work, because that will be a tremendous asset. Everyone will be GPS capable, no having to manually enter anything.
Absolutely. That would make life a whole lot easier. So any information, we're happy to do a workshop on that.
I want to throw a wrench into this discussion because I actually turn off my GPS on my phone often because it's a really big battery drain. And from my personal standpoint, the places in which I operate, I already know. It's my home, it's my workplace, or it may be a hospital, or if I'm going to be deployed somewhere, I would probably know in advance. So I would recommend, since most people would know where they are operating from in case of deployment, that you already have a list of this saved somewhere on your computer with those coordinates. Just saying, because like I said, I save my battery on my phone because I don't want to turn on GPS for that reason. It's too much of battery drain.
A lot of these applications you can set to be off until you want to use them.
Understood.
I'm talking about you're out in the field driving down the road and you need to report your position via WinLink Express or something else. That's all I was making reference to.
Oh, absolutely. And when I've done field work and I went to multiple different places, that's useful. I think I'm talking about the scenario where we probably won't be traveling to a lot of different places as a backup.
And that is a good point. And again, this is a discussion that we can have, a conversation we can have, going down the roads. What really works? What doesn't work? And what do we find? Because it's always a trade-off. EmComm is all about trade-offs. But let's get back on topic here, and I'll just show you what I can see right now. So I pulled up the user positions, and I know more of you have posted here than right now. But I can see N6 CVO up there. In Acton, and that's Brian, and he posted. The nice thing is I can see at May 9th at 8, and so comes up really well. And his message was test for upcoming Pico balloon launch. Great, I know where he's at. KM6TKJ posted 2 days ago. Hi honey, doing great here. So he used that part of our exercise. W2JCL, this was also from earlier today, right, Jeff? You just posted that, 5 minutes ago?
Yes, correct.
Thank you so much. And the other one here should be I need to zoom in a little bit more. Bear with me. Again, this is a tablet. Usually only does WinLink. There you go. And we've got Keith, KD6PYD, who posted a little while ago, and he added his UTM coordinates as well. And then David, KJ6UPY, who also just posted a moment ago, right, David? Did you find that easy to do?
Yes.
All right.
I'm not sure how I got it into WinLink, but I was, I was playing with the, yeah, I guess I did find it easy.
Okay,
And I
excellent.
got the report as well, the 30 nearest users.
Excellent. And that's part of what this process of discovery is all about. Here, let me turn it. Oh, did you hear the ready beep? That's our friends who keep interrupting our Thursday night nets. Pretty sure they're running a commercial frequency on there, which they shouldn't be doing. All right, but here's the same thing. We can actually see those same people who posted on the winlink.org site, right? K6OLI. Remember, this was the message I just wrote. And it's also showing up on APRS. We can see Jeff, W2JCL, who posted, not quite sure why this is showing up. This shouldn't be showing up at all because that was all on a private frequency. Okay. And up there, KM6TKJ, he posted his status. And so KN6BKT, that worked really well. So understand that there are multiple ways to actually get that information to your families. And they know how to find you. Let's say Jeff's daughters are away in college. Can I already say that because they're still in school? I don't want to give you a heart attack realizing that, oh my God, they're going to be leaving for school. Is that okay, Jeff?
I just ignore you when you say that, just like when they say it.
Okay, cool. All right. So let's say Jeff's at home. Thanks, Jeff, for being a good sport about this. This is awesome. They can actually just type in track call sign and then go search. And there's Dad. He's okay. He posted via WinLink and he says all is well in South Pasadena. If they're off in Boston or Chicago or Seattle or wherever they'll be, it is a very easy way for them to do this. It doesn't take up any circuit capacity from the cell phones and whatnot. And it's kind of one of those things that think of your families when you do this, right? Because whenever you deploy, they will be worried about you. And this is one way of actually dealing with it.
Hey, Oliver, this is Jeff. I was looking more carefully at this, this post on APRS.fi, wondering how did our post onto Aries 501 end up on the national APRS FI. It looks like W6HRO, which is the HRO store we're all familiar with down in Anaheim. They must have a sniffer going and picking up packets on all kinds of frequencies. It then got routed from there through N6EX-1, which is a one of the digipeaters up near Mount Wilson area, and then it got onto the national platform.
Interesting. So you looked at the path here, right? The info path.
Correct.
Yeah. And that's something I don't have a satisfying explanation about how that, because that took me by surprise too. Right. But the point here is everything we do is publicly available information. Technically, that people are posting on a frequency, a private frequency, not a private frequency, but on a tactical frequency, then it should stay tactical. There are ways for us to actually interface to radios. Direwolf does this really well, where you can take information from one channel and rebroadcast it on another, and you can actually do it like a gate, where it only goes one way. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Somebody might have been running their pinpoint APRS and had their iGate turned on that got sniffed by HRO.
That could certainly be another option, that it went through an iGate.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's probably what it is. If you have your iGate on, then it goes to the APRS net.
Yeah, and generally speaking, iGates, I think for MCOM are pretty much useless unless there is a specific purpose. And let me show you what Mike is referring to. See down here, it says APRS-IS disconnected and iGate inactive. So yes, if you do have those enabled in your options, then I would take that information and would post it to, let's see, APRS-IS. Then would actually post that information, right? So only iGate packets heard directly, somebody can have these turned on, and it actually would post it on the World Wide Web. And that's why, you know, keep things unchecked as unless we tell you to not uncheck. And that goes back to the whole thing about working with net control. At this point, I think we've kind of explained how this is working. Let me double check and make sure that I can show you my location so I can also show you how to delete your location. Are there any questions about this so far? Does this make sense? Okay, let's do a quick survey here. For how many of you does this make sense? Click yes now. Do we have more than two, Tron?
We have 17 out of 42.
All right. Okay.
18.
Okay, 18. All right. And the rest of you, if it doesn't make sense, click no now. See whether the other half is asleep.
We have one no.
Okay. Who is that? And where's my stick? Oh, just kidding. All right.
Michael from Chatsworth. Do you want to ask a clarifying question, Michael? I think that's a no.
Okay. So, I mean, what we see here is Doug sent his information just recently, WA6IFY. This is still in there. Tom, and again, Keith, David, and so K6OLI, that's what I wanted to show you, right? Hi, K6NHI, I am still safe. All right. The information I just sent, W2JCL, and we had, who else we got up here? Anyways, so now you've posted it and you want to delete this. How do you do that? Well, first of all, let me show you the inbox here. This is just my mess, so ignore that. There are two ways of doing this elegantly. First, if your message has been received, you can actually get a message sent. You can get a service message, a position report acknowledgement. And that's really, really useful. And you'll see that in a moment. And George, KJ6LA, George, did you also send it to QTH and CC me, or did you just send it to me?
Send it directly to you.
Okay. So send it directly to me, which is nice. But this wouldn't post online. This would really only go to me, and then I could figure out from that location where George is located. By the way, if you're using what 3 words in the comment, that's a great place to put your what 3 words location.
Great.
So thank you for demonstrating that, George. Really appreciate that.
My pleasure.
And the red items, I was too fast here. Let me go back to the top. So this position report acknowledgement is really, really important for what we're doing because it gives us the date and time of when we send that message that we want to delete now. So I just go in there and I can right mouse click and I can copy the selected text. I've posted my position. I don't want it on the map anymore. Now we do the same thing in reverse. I go to my position report and see how my time here has updated. I want to delete the position report I sent earlier. So I highlight this, right mouse click, and I paste, and see how this is the position report information that I just copied from here. 180347, 180347. And then in here in the comments box, I write in caps, delete. And I post the report. It's again in my outbox. And I send it this, start. And it takes about 2 minutes, in my experience, to delete the messages, to delete this, right? And then we can go back to the website. For those of you, if you have your own connection, internet connection, just check the website and do a refresh. You'll have to refresh this. It'll take about 2 minutes or so. And then K6OLI should disappear from this. If you want to delete it, oops, and you don't have the acknowledgement yet, you can always go into your sent items. And you can go to that position report that you wanted to delete. Remember 347, and it's the same information right here. So you could copy this and send the position report with the delete command. All right. And let's see here. Robert sent this error report. All right. And this is a great example of what we're looking at here. You see the difference here with the 34.1458. The format would have to be, in this case, 34-14 point whatever the rest of it is, right? And here it would be 118-20.8. And this is why this can be confusing to actually go from one system to another. Just keep that in mind. These things happen, and that's a good thing. This is why we're exercising this. But it's not as intuitive as it would be in other fields. And that is how you post position reports for your family. Are there any questions about any of this right now? Okay, Mike?
Which Mike?
Burton, sorry.
Sorry to interrupt. I have to leave. I wish everyone well. I have another Zoom presentation on
Okay.
WinLink stuff to Central America, and this will be the last time you get to have me bother you. Adios.
Mike, you never bother. We really appreciate you spending time with us. Have a good one, and 7 threes.
7 3.
All right. And that's it. It's really straightforward. So play around with this. I showed you how to post it. I showed you how to delete it. Are there any questions about how to delete any of these posts? Is there anything you'd like me to go over again? Raise your hand now or click yes.
John, KM6TKJ, what would you like Oliver to show? Go ahead and unmute yourself, John. And
yeah, what did you do in the time field when you were going, before you deleted your message?
Could you be more specific? What did I do in the time field?
Before you wrote delete in the comment section, you made an adjustment in the time field.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Here, let me go through that again, and thank you for asking. So I went to the position report acknowledgement, and I copied the time of the position I want to delete. Are we good so far?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So I right mouse click, I highlight it, and this is the report I got from the WinLink system, right? And I copy the selected text, then I go up to my position report, and see how this is the current time right now in UTC. It's 18:28:03, which is down here, 18:28. Do you see the UTC pop up at the bottom right-hand corner?
Yes.
So that's the current time. It auto defaults to the current time. But I want to delete a report I sent earlier. If I send delete right now, it's going to reply and say, there is no report with that time and date. Does that make sense?
Yes. So I want to delete the message I sent on our exercise on Thursday night. So I would look for the time for that one, correct?
That's correct. And you would copy that and then paste it in here. And that would be, this is why it's good to include the date, because you would have the date of 2 days ago and the exact time of 2 days ago.
Ah, I see.
And then click delete, not click, enter delete in caps. It has to be in caps. And then post the report, and that would delete your previous report.
Okay, great.
Right? And that's all you need to do. It really only cares about the date and the time.
Okay. Now I understand why it didn't delete before.
Yeah, no worries. But I mean, that's took us a while to experiment with this to feel comfortable with it.
Okay, thank you.
Oliver, speaking of delete, if we don't manually delete, how long do those position reports stay on the user positions WinLink site?
I would lie to you if I gave you a number right now. Actually, Mike would have known. But they do persist for quite a while. Here, let me show you on this map. This is the San Diego crew. And they've been on there for quite a while. Sorry, it just takes a moment for it to populate. Oh no, that's W6IFY. Let's see.
I believe it's 30 days.
Yeah, something like that. So KJ6SJT, you know, that's from Davis. That's our friend Greg. And yeah, it does stay up for a while. And by the way, it only deletes it from WinLink on APRS. It'll just stay on for a while. Usually for whatever it said, but it's searchable. So if you do have places you don't want other people to know about you visiting, or your favorite fishing hole out there, don't beacon from there. All right.
Oliver, does the is there an acknowledgement sent from WinLink CMS when you delete?
Yes, there is. In fact, good question. That would have been the last part of the exercise. So we already posted our delete, remember? Let's go to the outbox. It's empty, so we sent the delete report. Let's go into our WinLink session, click start. And there's see this message here, the service winlink.org, position report deleted. That's what we're going to download along with Greg's message. So we download those checked messages. Check our inbox. And here we see the position report deleted for K6OLI with timestamp was successfully deleted. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Great.
Speaking of Greg, he sent a message earlier today to notify us of a new neat trick. He says you can send spreadsheet data easily by copying the cells to send and then pasting into a WinLink message. When you copy from spreadsheet, it tab delimits. When you get the message, copy the text in the message and paste into a spreadsheet. Test it out for an experiment.
Well, absolutely do that. And Greg, thank you so much for all this, for all this great work you're doing, because this is a really, really powerful tool, and having these options is amazing. And I know that the check-in form, for instance, does tab delimited too, so it makes it very easy to actually add people to the check-ins. And those features are worth gold. And by the way, Greg did something very interesting here I want to share real quick. He posted his message to QTH, but he CC'd me and himself. And so he actually gets the best of all worlds. It'll post to WinLink and it'll post to somebody else in his group in this case, right? Who he might think has use for this information and this data. And with that, I think we can stop the share and end the presentation. I would like to thank all of you for spending your Saturday morning with us. I hope you had a good time. We really, really appreciate it. You feel free to be social for the next half hour or so before lunchtime. And, you know, we're not going to stop the Zoom yet, but we're going to stop the presentation part. And if you have any questions, if you want to be social, feel free to stay on. And with that, thank you all so much for your patience and putting up with me, and really appreciate all the work you're doing, and it's a lot of fun. So thank you so much. With that, I'll mute myself and give other people a chance to say something or, talk that. So thank you.
Yeah.